Hi everyone. So I just want to share my testimony of how I fight cancer. I get some questions on YouTube about it, and I just want to share for anybody who loved one is going through cancer. It's not something easy to fight. It's very hard. So I'm going to share you my testimony of how I fought cancer, and I'm going to share my story of what I went through fighting cancer. It happened in 2019. I went on a school trip with my son, and it was in May. And at the time, the temperature was changing. Sometimes it gets warm or cold, and inside the place was cold because it had AC. And then I got sick. I had a cough. I had an uncontrollable cough. The cough started, and I tried every single medicine in the pharmacy, and I wasn't able to fight the cough. I tried everything, but it started with the cough when I took my son to the trip when I got cold. So after that, I also applied to nursing school. I got accepted to nursing school, and one of the process of getting into nursing school, you have to do a physical. So I did a physical, and some irregularities was showing on my blood tests. They were kind of off, so I kept doing more blood work. But I also had this cough, and I just got a job. I got a job, a really good job in a nursing home. So all of that was going on in my life. And then as time goes by, with trying to pass the course on the job and my health, I noticed I had a lump on my throat. I didn't notice it. I had no idea. My husband noticed it. He was like, "What is that?" The lump is swelled up, and after a few days, it went back in, but you could feel it, you know? And then I went to the doctor, and she told me it might be a benign tumor. And I was upset and I started crying. She said sometimes we get tumors and they're just there and they don't do anything. Okay, but she tried to get me an x-ray so I could see what it is really. It was taking so long to schedule a throat doctor to do the x-ray or whatever, based on my insurance. But she really believed that it could have been an autoimmune disease that was affecting my lungs. So she wanted to rule out all autoimmune diseases. So the first place I went to was a nurse practitioner who tests for arthritis. I do have arthritis in my family. So she asked me how long I had the lump. And then she said, "You know what, let's do this x-ray because you got to get approved. You can't just say, okay, let me go get an x-ray. You have to get approved." So I went and got the x-ray. And um, later that week, it takes a while for the results. So when I went to the hospital to do the scheduled x-ray, I asked the people who do it, I said, "Okay, how does it look? Is it okay?" And they say the doctor will talk to you. So they don't tell you because they don't want to worry you. So I did the x-ray, and then the following week, she I was able to get in touch with her, and she saw my x-ray, and she said she can't help me. The nurse practitioner, she said, "I don't believe this is arthritis." And she said, "You need to go see your doctor, my primary doctor." And she told me, she said, "If I cannot breathe, go to the doctor right away. But I never saw the x-rays. So I was like, okay. So that same week, the week came and then I had a hard time breathing. And it felt like someone was sitting on my chest. And, so I went to the hospital. They asked me if I'm in pain. And I was like, no, but I feel my chest tight. I feel like someone's sitting on my chest, but it doesn't hurt. And I didn't, as I later learned, that's considered pain. And those are signs that you could have a heart attack. So, I'm not the age group where I could have a heart attack. So after they did a scan on me, they monitored my oxygen level. It was a little off. And they did a scan and the doctor told me, he said that it looks like it might be lymphoma, the doctor at the hospital, and he's gonna recommend me to see, I think they call them I can't remember the doctor's names, the doctors that do cancer. I can't remember the name. He's gonna recommend me to go see that type of doctor. And he not only that he saw a mass in my chest and he did an x-ray, but he also saw fluids around the heart. So around the same time, my doctor was on vacation. She came back and she wanted me to do the blood tests. And all the test results, it takes a while. The blood tests, the x-rays, they all start coming around the same time. And then she called me Friday and she said, why you didn't do the blood test? You know, because it takes a while. Like, I got a schedule and everything. And then she told me she thinks I might have cancer. She called me on the phone and I was upset and I cried when she told me that. So, but they couldn't confirm it because they have to do a biopsy. So, that, so after she called me, I was still going to school, hoping it could have been maybe autoimmune disease, not cancer, but either way, it was just bad. Whether it's autoimmune disease or cancer, it's just bad all the way. And I told myself, which one do I prefer, autoimmune disease or cancer? And I said I would prefer the cancer because you could fight it, but autoimmune disease is harder to treat. But I was I had a difficulty talking, so I wouldn't talk to nobody because I didn't want to worry them. And my family was calling me, and I called my mom and told her I was in the hospital and stuff. But he let me out. He said he couldn't keep me, and I have to see if I could get a biopsy and go to a cancer doctor and stuff. And it was taking so long to get treated because it's just I'm just in Pennsylvania. It's a different state in Pennsylvania. So my family, they're from New York, so they came over to see if I was okay. And I lost so much weight, but I was still in denial. I didn't think it was that bad because the doctor let me go. But before he let me go, he told me I had 1 week to live. But I figure if it's not that bad, maybe he would have kept me, but he didn't. So when my family saw me, they said they want to take me to the hospital, and they begged me, and I didn't want to go to New York because my daughter was going to summer school, and I needed her to go to summer school. I didn't want her to get left back. So my sister decided to stay with her so she could finish summer school. And I went with my dad and my brother to the hospital. They said they're going to send me to the best hospital in New York City. And when we got there, they say they think I have cancer or whatever. And they told me they couldn't take me in because you have to go through a process. You can't just go to a cancer center and have them take you in. So they said we could go to the hospital across the street. So it so happened to be Presbyterian Hospital. And we went across the street to the Presbyterian Hospital. And, they asked me how I'm feeling, whatever. They took my pulse. And at the time, I didn't know that there was 12 people ahead of me. My dad told me. I didn't even know. But they put me in front of the line. So I didn't know they did that. So they had me waiting in the room where, I don't know, this is the ICU room. I'm not sure what room they call it. Like the emergency room before they give you a room up in the facility. So they had me waiting in the room. And they took tests of they did x-rays, they did everything. They drained the fluid out my lungs because half my lungs was filled with water. So I was having a hard time breathing. So they took care of me. They did all of that in a few days. And then I went and did the biopsy on Tuesday. So I got admitted on Sunday. They did a biopsy on Tuesday. And I was waiting for them to do a biopsy in Philly. They were taking so long. And they asked me why I'm in New York. Like, they say why I'm not in Philadelphia getting treated. But I don't know. They play games here in Philly. They just, I don't know. That's a whole nother issue in Philly. But they did everything. And I didn't, and even like Presbyterian Hospital is one of the best in New York. And they don't just admit anybody to the hospital, which I didn't know. But they took me in and they treated me. They did biopsy. If they confirmed it was Hodgkin lymphoma. And they start me on the chemo right away. And I had to. And I didn't want to. I want to see if there's a natural way of fighting the cancer. But I had to do it right away because the tumor was 2 centimeters from my heart. So I had no choice but to start taking the chemotherapy. So I took it that same week. The doctor told me once I take it, it's going to help shrink the tumor. So I'm sharing this story because I watch YouTube and people want to take the natural route of treating the cancer. But once you already have cancer, it's like too late to go natural. You have to try to prevent having cancer. But once it's in your body, you have to work aggressively because the cancer will spread aggressively. It's something that just take over the body very fast. So that's why I'm sharing this with y'all. If you are a stage 3 or 4 and you don't want to take chemo or radiation, you're taking a chance with your life. You have to. Once you're like a stage 3 or 4, you have to take the chemo or radiation, whatever the doctor tells you to do. You have to take it because the cancer, it reaches a stage where you need something strong to control it. So when I find out that I had it, I start doing research and I spoke to people who fought cancer and try to fight cancer. And I decided to take the chemotherapy and also try a natural approach. So after I did my research, I was able to, when I had to do another scan to see if the cancer was there while I was taking the treatment, the chemotherapy, it was completely gone. And I did this by taking the chemotherapy and I did not take any sugar. The cancer feeds off the sugar. Cancer cannot survive in an alkaline body. It cannot live in an alkaline body. So sugar is very acidic, and your body gotta be like a balanced pH. You could know, but if you go to the pharmacies and get those pH strips, you could test your blood or your urine to see if your body is a balanced pH. You don't, if your body is very acidic, you could expose yourself to diseases like diabetes, lupus. Those are autoimmune diseases. And interestingly, when I was in nursing school, I was learning about autoimmune disease and cancer because those diseases are inflammation. So that's when the body is attacking itself, which is inflammation, which is autoimmune disease, and also cancer. Cancer is also uh, under the umbrella of inflammation diseases as well. So when you have cancer, you have to act aggressively. And unfortunately, with the chemotherapy and the radiation, it also causes cancer. So that is why if you take it and you decide not to take it no more, or you come off the chemotherapy, it will act aggressive. And I forgot the name of it when it comes back, or when it comes back aggressive. That's why when people take the chemotherapy or the radiation, their cancer may come back. So for for you to fight it, you have to eat certain food, and you have to avoid, well, the best thing to do is, I could tell you, the food to avoid is sugar, dairy, and meat. Avoid those three things. You take the chemo, you take the radiation, it will it would go away. Food that treats cancer is natural foods is soursop. Um, I was taking soursop every single day, and a soursop is a fruit that grows in the tropics. And my mother, she would travel to Guyana. That's where my family is from, and she constantly bring the soursop to me. She would bring it in a liquid form, freeze it to the embassy. Because you're not allowed to bring foods to the U.S. no more. But she freeze it and bring it in. So soursop, I was taking soursop every day. And what else? I took CBD oil. That also treats cancer as well. And I was watching what I'm eating. So after I did my scan, and I think I did like 7 cycles of, I had to do 12. And I think I did 7 cycles of chemotherapy, and I didn't want to do it no more. It was causing me to have neuropathy in my face, in my fingers, in my toes, in my foot. So I didn't want to do it. And I say, hey, why continue taking the chemotherapy where they don't see the cancer in the body? It's making me sick. It's causing me a lot of pain. I feel like I might die if I keep taking this stuff, because I was so weak and fragile. So I was like, you know what? I'm not taking it. My doctor was angry. The nurses were upset. My family was upset. And, they don't know what it is. They're not taking it. They don't know what it's like to go through. They don't know what it is to see your body change drastically. They not, it's making me depressed. I decided I could have continued with nursing school, but after I've been through that, after I've been a patient, I didn't want to do it no more. It was just, I just don't want to be reminded of the doctors and the nurses and just that memory. I just wanted to disappear. So I was like, I'm going to continue to be natural. I'm going to continue, you know, my natural routine because I feel that's what caused it to go away. And I'm not going to take it no more. So I told them, I'm not taking this no more. So they said, okay, we'll come back in the next few months and we'll do another CAT scan. But they were upset about it, you know. So my husband get these dreams and they always come true when he dreams. So he told me he dreamt me and he dreamt that the cancer came back bigger than it was. So I was so upset when he told me that dream. And I was like, I don't understand. I'm praying. I'm doing everything God wants me to do. I'm eating natural. Like, why something so barbaric? And I know this is not of God, this chemo and radiation. I know there's ways that got to be better for us to heal our body without putting this poison, because that's what it is you're putting poison in your body, and even though you may be cured from it, there's also side effects you have to deal with. So, and I was upset and I just didn't understand it, but I didn't want the cancer. And when the cancer, let's say if they treat you with the cancer and it comes back, it's even harder for them to treat when it comes back because it comes back with a vengeance. It comes back aggressive, and they cannot use the same treatment like before to treat it because it just it adapt to the treatment and adapt to the chemotherapy and adapt to the radiation. So that's how cancer was. So when I took the month off and I decided to continue with the treatment, my hair started to grow back. And I was like, is this because my body built a resistance to the treatment? And the doctor's like, no, sometimes that happens. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. They would say whatever that they feel is best for the patient. So I don't know how true that is, but I think my body was starting to resist the chemotherapy. But I just go with it. I just continue the stuff. And even though they didn't see the cancer in my body, I had a lymph node that I could feel right here. It was very small. And when I decided to take a month off with the cancer, it was small, but it would not go away. And that really bothered me. But it started to grow. If I felt it every single day, I felt it right here. It was growing a little bit. But after I finished the chemotherapy, they found the cancer in my pelvis bone, but it didn't show up anywhere else in the screen. So they wasn't sure if it came back or not. So they said they're gonna do it again in 3 months and wait and see. Because let's say if it comes back, they cannot use the same thing because it's like your body built a resistance. The cancer built a resistance. It's not gonna work again. If they try to give you the same treatment, they have to try something else. And they told me if if it's become a problem, they would have to try something else, maybe bone marrow or stem cells. Those were the other two options. So after the 2 months, it got smaller. Or either it didn't show no more or it got smaller. So the the doctor told me I was in remission. So I was so happy. So I was like, oh, great, I'm in remission. So, so I'm just explaining, I'm just sharing this with y'all. I believe God sent us dreams, and that's one way of God communicating with us. So I'm just sharing this story to anybody. Like, if you are a stage 3 or 4, you have to take the chemotherapy and you have to eat naturally. I have a cousin right now who was diagnosed with cancer. We're the same age. And I don't understand why the doctors are telling him not to eat strawberries or berries, which has a lot of vitamin C. Vitamin C also helps treat cancer too. Make sure you're taking your vitamin C's or your vitamin D. If you have cancer, you have to take more than the doses of vitamin C. I don't know how much, but for like an average person who's healthy, who don't have any sicknesses, you have to take like 3 or 4 times the amount if you have cancer. So you have to, you know, take a lot of vitamins, eat a lot of fruits. Fruits help fight diseases. You gotta eat a lot of fruits. Vegetables help detox the body. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Get your hands on sea moss. I believe sea moss is a fruit that really goes after cancer. Not sea moss. I mean, sea moss is also good. It helps detox the body. But I meant to say sour sap. Sour sap is a fruit that goes after the cancer. And I think they have a different name for sour sap in Spanish, but I don't know the word. But in English is sour sap, and I still have sour sap. Um, as of right now, I haven't been really taking care of myself that much. I've been eating how I want to eat. Um, but I try. But when I get focused, I say, okay, let me take the sour sap tea. Let me start drinking it because I have sour sap leaves. I drink that like once a day, but when I was going through cancer, I was drinking it like 3 times a day. I was drinking the juice. I was really on the south side a lot, but now I'll try to drink it every day. I don't eat red meat. I feel like cows is like an animal that could easily transfer disease to humans. There's certain animals that's difficult for us to get disease from, but cows is one of those animals that you could easily get sick from. So if you're eating a cow, whether it's a burger or a steak that was sick, that's something you could easily get sick from. If the meat is not treated properly, or if that cow was sick, you could probably get sick and it could cause some type of disease in your body. I don't like to eat red meat, but sometimes I will eat goat, but not like every single thing, not every day. Once in a blue moon, I will probably have goat. I still eat chicken. I love chicken. I'll still eat fish, but I try my best not to eat meat. I'm trying. I'm trying. I don't drink soda. Sometimes I drink it, but not like every single day. I don't miss it either. Um, I still eat candy sometimes, mostly natural candies, but I don't indulge in those stuff like before. I try not to. I try to watch, and most of the food I don't eat food like takeout food that much. Most of the time I cook my food. I try to not to use preservative. I've been before I had cancer. I've been avoiding putting preservative stuff in my food, like cooking from scratch. But I still end up getting sick. I never smoke. I'm not a heavy drinker. Like, but I still end up getting sick. So it can happen to anybody. So that's my advice to anybody trying to fight cancer. You have to eat natural and you have to take the treatment. Once you're stage 3 or 4, it's too late to say, okay, let me go 100% natural. I think if you're a stage 1 or 2, you could still get away with avoiding chemotherapy or radiation. I think so, but not a stage 3 or not 4. I almost died at a stage 3. So imagine, I could have died from cancer not knowing I had it. So that's my testimony with cancer. If you're a stage 3 or stage 4, you have to seek professional help and you have to get treated, and you just eat natural is gonna go away. Okay? So all right, that's my testimony for now. So I hope it will save someone's life. And I remember I told my dentist, because when I was taking the chemo, it caused my teeth to chip, so I had to go get my teeth fixed. But she told me, "Oh, can you just talk to other parents who kids," and I'm talking about young adults who are adults who doesn't want to take the chemo or radiation. They want to go the natural route. It's too late. Once you're a stage 3 or 4, it is too late to go natural. You have to do it before you have cancer. You could avoid getting cancer by eating natural right now and eating healthy right now. But once you have it in your body and you're a stage 3 or stage 4, it's too late. You have to take the radiation, chemo, and eat naturally to fight it. Okay? So that is my testimony from God. That was a God talking to my husband to share that dream with me, because I was praying a lot. I had people pray a lot, and Christ is real, and I'm alive because of God. So that's my testimony. I want to share with y'all how I fought cancer. So that's it. All right. Bye.